Welcome back to the Idle Talk Minis. It's your boy, Fernando, and I'm here to talk to you about some of my personal things. But first and foremost, I would like to put this out in the airwaves right now as you're listening. If you or someone you know would like to be on Idle Talk, just shoot me a DM over at the Idle Talk pod page. Whether that be a question for the podcast in a video, or a question for the podcast in a text, or a question for the podcast in an audio bite sound thing. Or if you yourself want to be on an episode of Idle Talk, we could get a little bit serious, okay? We could be serious. We could be a little funny, ha 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 ha. Or we can do a little bit of both. We could do both. It's up to you, really, truly. I'm putting that out there in a serious note, though. I'm looking to talk to a lot more different people, specifically, because I just want to see. I want to see who's out there, what's out there, whom is out there. Multiple people at the same time, two people at once. I don't know. I can take it. I can figure it out. I can handle it. But to be super real, I am actively seeking out guests for this show. I haven't talked to Fabian about it because he's been pretty busy bee Fabian over there. But I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to see, and if we can't make it work with Fabian, I'll do it by myself. We'll have interviews. We'll have serious interviews, right? Then we'll bring Fabian in and be like, "Yo, what's up?" I'm hoping that the perfect world is everybody involved. Okay, but this week coming up for Idle Talk, the main episode is featuring Malik and Fabian. These two guys sit down for the first time ever and have a conversation on the mic, and it's kind of interesting. I think. I mean, it's not my topic, and not my cup of tea, but I think you guys will learn a lot about Fabian and his interviewing skills, and you'll learn about a lot more different things about Malik. Some questions I've never really asked him, and he's been on the show a few times, friend of the show, but nevertheless. Secondly, let's get into some a story time about the gym. So I went to the gym today, and I typically work out with Fabian, and I go heavy when I go work out with Fabian. That's my thing, heavy on bench with Fabian, and then we do legs with BJ, right? That's the two people we participate in this ever evolving world of fitness. But we haven't been able to link up for since we got back from Baltimore. Okay, Faber needs to slave away at his job, as he said. "Quote: Don't cancel me for that," but that's what he said. And today I decided, hey, I'm gonna bench as heavy as I could go without dying. Now, if you're hearing my voice, clearly that was successful. But there's a reason why it's called a story time. So I get to the gym, and I'm gonna give you some unnecessary backstory. But I'm with my sister, and we're waiting for a bench, and no bench opens up, and then a squat rack opens up, and she's like, "Hey, do you want to just do overhead press?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can do overhead press," because I was really wanting to bench. So she just overhead presses the bar a few times, right? We beat some guy who's gonna squat and take up like 50 minutes with the rack. So I said, you better run to the squat rack because this guy I usually see. And I'm sorry I did this to you, buddy, but we took the squat rack, and then this big guy comes in, and he's like looking for which I think he was looking for a bench, but I talked to the guy. It turns out he's looking for a squat rack. I'm like, "Do you want to trade? Like, can I have your bench now that you took it from this guy, and I can give you the squat rack?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." So then my sister benches, and then so before that, this guy, the guy that uses the squat rack, asked the guy next to me because he clearly sees that I took the last one, and he asked the guy next to me. He's like, "Hey, how many sets you got left?" He's like, "A lot." Already hate this guy. I already hate the guy next to me because I'm like, you don't gotta say a lot. You could just be like, "Hey, I just started." That's what I say, and that's a little bit nicer than saying a lot. And for whatever reason, that bugged the shit out of me. And then my sister's doing overhead press, and I stuff my backpack on. I'm on the platform. I'm watching her because I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna warm up on the bench, right? And she just wants to practice the overhead press. So, but I'm like, I know we're not gonna take any more than like 15, 20 minutes. And the guy next to me, who was just rude to the guy, he was like, "Yo, how many more sets you got?" And I said, "We just started." And I was like, "What about you?" He's like, "Yeah, me too. Isn't that something?" And I was like, in my head, I'm like, "Do you want to fucking fight me, bro? In the gym? Like, do you want to fight right now? You fucking ant looking like motherfucker." Like, I don't know who the fuck that guy was, right? But I'm already pissed because I saw the assistant manager from 2 days ago in the morning. So I'm like, I'm fucking furious right now. I'm like, fuck off, dude. Like, first of all, he was a tall, skinny motherfucker, right? And he's squatting like 185 at max and like going crazy with it. And I'm like, bro, you're barely breaking like parallel. Like, and that's a no fault to you because you're tall as fuck and it's hard for you to do that. But like, don't fucking ask me to when I'm gonna be fucking done when you just saw me come on this bitch. Like, I'm with my sister, dude. Okay? Of course he's not pushing that weight. You're barely pushing it yourself, but that does not mean that there is no justification for us being on the squat rack. I don't know if I'm tripping, like, but that does not invalidate the reason why we're using this thing. And I'm looking all over the gym because I wanted to reach out to the guy and be like, hey, we're done. You want to take it? But no. Okay, I didn't find him. So I traded the squat rack for the bench with that guy. And I'm mean mugging this guy the whole time he's fucking doing shit. I'm on the bench. When I wake up, I'm not sleeping. I look up and I'm looking for him, mean mugging him the whole time. And he's making eye contact with me from across the gym, bro. Because I know he's doing the same exact shit too. So I'm giving back that energy I feel like I'm receiving. So boom. Okay. This is where the official story starts 2 minutes later. So I'm warming up. I do 135 for 2 sets. I do that for 5 reps. I skip all the baby weights and then I go, and that's important, the baby weights. Then I go to 185, hit that for 5 for 2 reps, for 2 sets. And then I jump to 225, hit that for 5 reps for 1 set. And that's my warm up. Those are my warm ups now. Okay. 225 used to be a big deal for me, but now I'm warming up with that shit. This is where it gets interesting. Hit 245, hit that for one. It's fucking hard, man. That shit was difficult. Put that shit back. I was like, all right. Usually at this point, I do the big weights all the way up to 255, but then I just jump right to 255, hit that again, easy peasy lemon schmeezy. Now at 255, I add the baby weights, so the 2.5 pound plates. Now we're at 260. Hit that. I thought I was gonna die. Halfway, I thought I had to bail out because I thought it wasn't gonna go up, but I eventually get it up. Rack it 265. This is the heaviest I thought I was gonna go today. Okay, I hit this easier than I fucking hit 260 and 255 and 245. Easier. That shit flew up. I'm not lying to you. It flew up. So I see this guy. I always see him because he used to come in early as fuck like me. But now I just been sleeping in most of the time and I've been going to the gym at 7. Sue me. But I regret not going to the gym at 6 anymore. This guy used to bench next to me every day. Like we would be on the bench at the same time because I bench like 5-6 times a week. Okay, I could if I didn't have to rest, I would bench every single day because I want to get good at the bench press. Okay, and don't let no one tell you that benching more than 2-3 times a week is bad for you. If you want to get good at something, you do it as much as humanly possible to get good at it. There's a reason why it says you need 10,000 hours to learn a new skill because you need to do that shit frequently. So I'm there. I pull up to him. I'm like, "Yo, are you waiting for a bench?" He's like, "Yeah, I am. Why?" I was like, "Yo, I'm about to be done. I think I'm done after this." He's like, "You're gonna go one more?" I was like, "Nah, I mean." And then we get into a little conversation. I'm like, "Hey, yeah, I usually see you around. You usually come in a little bit earlier, like I used to." And we laugh about it. He's like, "You want to do 275?" I'm like, "Yo, I only hit that once. Like, I don't think I can hit that today. I did a bunch of shit today." And he's like, "No, no, no, let's try. I'll help you." So we load up 275, okay? Which I did with Fabian for the first time in Baltimore. I have yet to hit it again up to this point. We load up 275. I kind of the first one. I'm literally talking as I'm benching it, okay? So we lift. He helps me with the lift off. Perfect lift off, by the way. Immaculate. It's like our first time ever doing it. Brings it to where I like, and my grip is a little wider. So I'm like, fuck, I want because the way he was holding onto the bar, I'm like, I need to be closer to this shit. Like I need to be closer to the rings. But um, I'm talking through it. I was like, nah, I don't think I got it. He's like, and then he puts 2 fingers on. He's like, you got it. Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. And I'm pushing it. I'll push it up, rack it. And he's like, yo, I didn't even help you on that. And I was like, yeah, I can tell because that shit was fucking hard. Like, like that was like the least amount of assistance I've ever gotten ever, I think, on a bench press. And I was like, yeah, I could tell because that shit was definitely difficult. And then he goes, yeah, let's do it again. Now that I know where you kind of like it and how your bar path is, like, let's try this again. Like, drink some water or like blah 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 blah. And that shit I tell my sister sometimes. I'm like, hey, yo, drink some water and then reset. And let's go again. And so he does it. And I go and I bring it down to my chest, and I go to push it back up, and I'm a quarter of the way, but then I'm stalling, like it's not going up anymore, but it's not going down. That's the issue, because if it's not going down, he's gonna let me rock. He's gonna let me ride. He's gonna let me die right there, right? And I'm pushing it up. And I was like, nah, I can't. I shake my head, and he puts his fingers on it, and then I go, almost put his fingers in it. Hey, yo, Fernando, what's going on at LA Fitness, boy? Anyway, so he puts two fingers on the bar, and he helps me lift it. Again, I'm doing like 95% of the work right here. He's like, yo, I barely helped you. I was like, bro, I know. I'm fucking shaking. Like, you barely helped me out. Like, I was ready to quit, and you just made me work for that shit. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Making me better myself each and every day in this bitch. Regardless, regardless. So that's the end of that story. And we start talking. I'm starting to unrack the weights for him. I was like, he was like, you're that guy that brings the baby weights, right? I was like, yeah, because I could. And I'm like, look, they're right there on the floor, my 2.5 pound plates. I was like, yeah, because whenever I needed them, I could never find them. Never. And he's like, yo, man, that's so funny. Your hair is different. And I was like, yeah, it's a little longer. So I've been rocking the 2.5 pound plates. I think ever since I cut off my dead ends on my hair a few months ago to let it regrow back healthier. And that's a whole other topic for a whole other Idle Talk mini about this frizzy hair I've been experiencing because of summertime. But we had a little moment there. I'm the guy. I'm known as the guy who brings the baby weights in the gym, and I'm not mad about that because that means people know that those shits are mine, and they better not touch my shit if they see it on the floor. Like that one Dominican man who clearly saw I had my own 2.5 pound plates before I bought mine. Like I had my own set from the gym. I moved it to my side of the bench. I was like, I'm using these. These are clearly going to be used. And he takes mine, even though he had one on the side of his own bench. And that is what triggered me to purchase these baby weights, these baby 2.5 pound plates. And that's how baby weight Fernando was born. You've known headband Fernando for quite a while if you've been following me for a bit. But now it's a new era of Fernando, the baby weight Fernando. And that's that story. That's Jim's story. And let me get into another one adjacent, okay? And I want to shout out Malik because I've got his back all the time. All the time. You can't tell me no bad shit about him because I won't believe you. Okay, so I show up to LA Fitness one day. I scan my code on a Thursday. I notice my code's yellow. Don't really pay too much mind about it. I go in by myself. That's a goddamn lie. I go in with a friend, a guest, because my boy is working the desk. I don't think much of it. Next day, Friday, coming with my sister. She goes to swim and I go to bench, right? That's the routine lately. And I scan it, and there's a different person on there. Different man. A boy, one might say. And he says, hey man, you haven't paid your bill in 2 months, so you can't bring a guest in, but we'll let you go in. And I'm like, and this is Saturday now, guys. I took a rest day on Friday because I was going crazy. I had gone like 14 days in a row in the gym. But he's like, you can't go in. Like, you haven't paid your bill in 2 months. And I was like, what? What the fuck do you mean? And this is where I back Malik a little bit because he's usually the one that handles the payments. Sugar daddy. And he's like, yeah, you haven't paid. You have 2 months worth of unpaid bills. And I was like, that's weird. And I was like, how much is the bill? He's like $77. In my head, I'm like, you're fucking dumb. And I tell him, I'm like, you're lying. There's no way there's 2 months of paid, like 2 months of unpaid bills. Because A, you would have been on my ass every single day because I go to the gym more than he does. You would have been on my dick asking me to pay for it. Right? So I pull out my virtual card because I don't have my wallet, right? So shout out to Capital One in their credit card app system shit. That shit is solid. Pull out my virtual card, pay for it. And I'm like, you're a liar. Like, no way that's 2 months worth. That's 1 month. Like, I'm not fucking stupid. Just because I don't pay the shit doesn't mean I don't know how much it is. I'm not the one that handles it. He's like, and he was like, before I even paid for it, he was like, you better call Malik and get it figured out. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's 7 p.m. on a Saturday. 7 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm not calling him for shit. I And then I pay for this shit. Before I even pay for the shit, I'm like, yo, you can't let me slide? Because my boy that works the front desk, shout out to that guy. Because in the weekdays, he just knows who I am and knows who my sister is. And I scan, he's like, I got you. So if you've got someone like that in your life that you go somewhere frequently and they got you, this is your sign to buy them a gift card and give it to them as an appreciation, a token of appreciation for them. Okay? Because that's what I'm gonna do to that guy. Because experiencing this with this other gentleman made me think. I was like, wow, I really hate assistant managers because they really think the title means more manager than assistant manager. So I told him, can you let me slide? He's like, no, sorry. I got my manager watching the cameras at all times. He's mad at us because we're not making the monthly quotas this month. I'm like, bro, it is fucking May like 12th or May 13th or some shit like that. Relax. Okay, you're not even halfway through the month yet. Give it some time. And so I pay for my shit. I'm like, all right. I text him to leak this shit. I'm like, yo, FYI, I paid the bill. This guy was tripping. He said we didn't pay for 2 months. I know he was a fucking dickhead in line. And then me and Malik talk about it over the phone for a little bit. I'm like, bro, don't even worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. But let me end this story with, as soon as I finish paying, as soon as the transaction is good, my app now turns green. As in, like, hey, this guy pays. I'm starting to walk away, and I say, "Oh, before you leave, while I got you here, how about you fix that fucking broken bench press downstairs that's been there for like 2 months, okay?" And then I recorded a video of it. I recorded a video of the bench press, and I think it's dated like May 12th or something like that, May 12th or 13th, one of those days. So, Idle Talk listeners, let's see how long it takes. Because you said, and I quote, "Yeah, work order has already been approved." I was like, "All right, perfect. It's already been approved like 2 months." I won't even lie to you. 2 months, because I bench next to that shit every single day. That's the bench next to it on either the left or the right is my sweet spot, my perfect bench. But let's see how long it takes for this work order to get fulfilled, and I will talk to you the next time for an Idle Talk mini. Bye bye. Much love, peace, love, prosperity. As I just freaking anger trauma dumped you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.